Okay, I'm going to do some more lessons of the Catholic Catechism. This is a Catechism of Christian Doctrine, prepared and enjoined by order of the Third Plenary Council of Baltimore. So this is the Baltimore Catechism, and this will be lessons 30 to 33, which will end Book 1 of the Catechism, because I think there's 3. So anyway, that'll complete Book 1. Here's a lovely picture of kids being taught the Catechism. I just thought you'd enjoy that. I love artwork, so I try to pick nice paintings for you. Okay, so this is Lesson 30. It says, from the 7th to the end of the 10th commandment. What is the 7th commandment? The 7th commandment is, thou shalt not steal. What are we commanded by the 7th commandment? By the 7th commandment, we are commanded to give to all men what belongs to them, and to respect their property. What is forbidden by the 7th commandment? The 7th commandment forbids all unjust taking or keeping what belongs to another. Are we bound to restore ill-gotten goods? We are bound to restore ill-gotten goods, or the value of them, as far as we are able. Otherwise, we cannot be forgiven. Are we obliged to repair the damage we have unjustly caused? We are bound to repair the damage we have unjustly caused. What is the 8th commandment? The 8th commandment is, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. What are we commanded by the 8th commandment? We are commanded by the 8th commandment to speak the truth in all things, and to be careful of the honor and reputation of everyone. What is forbidden by the 8th commandment? The 8th commandment forbids all rash judgments, backbiting, slanders, and lies. What is the 9th commandment? The 9th commandment is, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. What are we commanded by the 9th commandment? We are commanded by the 9th commandment to keep ourselves pure in thought and desire. What is forbidden by the 9th commandment? The 9th commandment forbids unchaste thoughts, desires of another's wife or husband, and all other unlawful, impure thoughts and desires. What is the 10th commandment? The 10th commandment is, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. What are we commanded by the 10th commandment? By the 10th commandment, we are commanded to be content with what we have and to rejoice in our neighbor's welfare. What is forbidden by the 10th commandment? The 10th commandment forbids all desires to take or keep wrongfully what belongs to another. Okay, Lesson 31. On the first and second commandments of the Church. Which are the chief commandments of the Church? The chief commandments of the Church are 6. To hear Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation. To fast and abstain on the days appointed. To confess at least once a year. To receive the Holy Eucharist during Easter time. To contribute to the support of our pastors. Not to marry persons who are not Catholics, or who are related to us within the 3rd degree of kindred, nor privately, without witnesses, nor to solemnize marriage at forbidden times. Is it a mortal sin not to hear Mass on a Sunday or a holy day of obligation? It is a mortal sin not to hear Mass on a Sunday or a holy day of obligation, unless we are excused for a serious reason. They also commit a mortal sin who, having others under their charge, hinder them from hearing Mass without a sufficient reason. What do you mean by fast days? By fast days I mean days on which we are allowed but one full meal. What do you mean by days of abstinence? By days of abstinence I mean days on which we are forbidden to eat flesh meat, but are allowed the usual number of meals. Why does the Church command us to fast and abstain? The Church commands us to fast and abstain in order that we may mortify our passions and satisfy for our sins. Lesson 32. On the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th commandments of the Church. What is meant by the commandment of confessing at least once a year? By the commandment of confessing at least once a year is meant that we are obliged, under pain of mortal sin, to go to confession within the year. What sin does he commit who neglects to receive communion during Easter time? He who neglects to receive communion during the Easter time commits a mortal sin. What is the Easter time? The Easter time is, in this country, the time between the first Sunday of Lent and Trinity Sunday. Are we obliged to contribute to the support of our pastors? We are obliged to contribute to the support of our pastors and to bear our share in the expenses of the church and school. Lesson 33. On the Last Judgment and on the Resurrection, Hell, Purgatory, and Heaven. When will Christ judge us? Christ will judge us immediately after our death and on the last day. What is the judgment called which we have to undergo immediately after death? The judgment we have to undergo immediately after death is called the particular judgment. What is the judgment called which all men have to undergo on the last day? The judgment which all men have to undergo on the last day is called the general judgment. What are the rewards or punishments appointed for the men's souls after the particular judgment? The rewards or punishments appointed for men's souls after the particular judgment are heaven, purgatory, and hell. What is hell? Hell is a state in which the wicked are condemned, and to which they are deprived of the sight of God for all eternity, and are in the dreadful torments. What is purgatory? Purgatory is the state in which those suffer for a time who die guilty of venial sins, or without having satisfied for the punishment due to their sins. Will our bodies share in the rewards or punishments of the soul? Our bodies will share in the rewards or punishments of the soul, because through the resurrection they will again be united to them. What is heaven? Heaven is the state of everlasting life in which we see God's face to face, are made like unto him in glory, and enjoy eternal happiness. And that's it. That's it for this first book of the Catechism. So I think there's another volume. I'm going to go to that when I get a chance. But I hope you enjoyed that. A lot of people don't know the Catechism, you know. And it's very important. The Baltimore Catechism was created because there's a lot of persecution against Catholics in America when they came here. And people didn't really know what they believe. And it's still that way. You know, the evangelicals think we worship Mary and, you know, we worship the Pope and all this absolute rubbish. And they just speak ignorantly. I mean, it's really pathetic. They don't really educate themselves properly in this regard. But they're always criticizing us, but they should really look in the mirror, because we all have imperfections, right? So worry about your own group. But it's and other groups too, you know, that criticize us. Because they didn't know, well, back then, in the 1800s, they actually attacked Catholic Church, burned some down, threw rocks through windows. I mean, it was bad. And they got together, different church leaders, and they put together this Baltimore Catechism so people would know what we actually believed. And really, so the believers would know what we actually believed, right? So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you in the next video.